Okay, so I finished most of my details from my picture, but you might notice that I'm missing my pumpkin. So what I'm going to do now is make my pumpkin, and if you notice, I make it really large and it sort of sticks off the page. You don't even see the bottom of it. So for that, I'm going to mix a little bit of orange with my brown, or sorry, orange with my red, just to make it a little bit darker. I'm going to use my medium-sized brush because it's a larger object. And some people get a little bit nervous about making them large. I like to make them really big because having something really big in my foreground makes it much more interesting. So I'm looking at the shapes that I have. And the first shape I'm going to have, let me lift up my paper so it doesn't get on the table, is going to be something like this. So I'm drawing this inner circle right here. And then from the side of the top right here, I'm going to draw the other side of my pumpkin like this. And then I'm going to do the other side as well like this. And it goes off the page again, that's okay. For my other pumpkin in the background, I'm going to do the same thing, but I noticed it's a little bit smaller. So from the side here, I'm going to draw a smaller circle. And then you see we have this other sort of circle coming off the side of that, like that. Now for this one, I'm going to fill in the inside with an orange. So it's a little bit different than these little lines I've created. Okay. And I want to be able to see those lines because it's going to give it more of an illusion of being three-dimensional. So if I can see that it's a little bit darker anywhere where those curves are, it's going to look a little bit nicer. I can even mix in a little bit yellow if I want to make it look just slightly larger, or slightly lighter, I mean. So there's that one. And then I can do this side right here. Like that. And I think my pumpkin in the background is going to be just slightly lighter than this one is. I have to be careful not to cross those lines. Do the same thing here. So already my pumpkins are starting to look nice. They're a little bit see-through though. It's not quite pumpkin colored. So I think I'm going to use a little bit of yellow towards the top because I know it's going to blend with my red to become an orange. And also it's going to be lighter on top because that's where the light hits it. So I'm just going to put it towards the top here, and wow, that's already really looking more three-dimensional. I don't want to leave it completely yellow because you know that pumpkins aren't normally yellow, but if I keep mixing it, then it becomes a little bit lighter. So I'll do the same thing with this pumpkin. Like that. Really nice. Okay. And then I can go ahead and add my stem. Now my stem, it can't be this color because then it'll blend in, and it can't be this color because it'll blend in. So I'm going to take my green here. I'm actually going to add a little bit of yellow to it, as well as a little bit of brown. So it's a new color that I haven't used. Maybe I'll even add some tan in there, create something entirely different. That's different. And then from this little, I guess, indent to this little indent, that's about how wide I'm going to make my little stem. And maybe this stem will go this way. If I'm noticing that it's blending too much with this color, then I might go back a little bit later, or even while it's wet, and add another color on top so it doesn't look like it's the exact same thing or blending in. I might do the same thing here, and I'm noticing actually that my brush is a little bit too thick for this step. So I'm actually going to use a detail brush for this one to make it a little bit more detailed and precise, I suppose. Okay, so those are the main parts of my pumpkin. If I want to make it look darker on the underside, then I could add a little bit of black to my green. And then on the bottom side of my stem, I could add a little bit of the darker colors. And here, because stems are sort of striated, they have these stripes, I can leave it kind of striped like that. Same thing here. So on the bottom side, I'm going to leave these little sort of stripes so they look a little bit more realistic. Up here, I know that pumpkins are usually broken right there, so I'm going to make it look a little bit broken. Same thing here. Okay.